What's that, mate? Baby Beard Media have a new podcast series coming soon. What's it about? A tabletop role-playing series called Roll to Cast, you say? The first campaign is a Cyberpunk 2020 story with an original soundtrack called Going Mainstream. Cool. When's it drop? The 20th of July. More info on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram? Yeah, I know this won't make sense to people listening in the future. They might still want to check it out. I'm talking to myself for a bit. Yeah, alright, smartass. On with the show.
Baby Beard!
Waited for you, Fry!
This episode traumatized me as a young person.
My head is hurting again.
Where's my firstborn son?
God does not care about me masturbating.
Your singing is bad and you should feel bad.
First get out into bus, you're like, oh no!
Yeah. I don't like myself becoming the protagonist of this podcast.
You've been in
Yeah, because you haven't learned anything.
Shut up and take my podcast.
Hello and welcome
Right into it.
to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, the Australian Futurama podcast that pits episode against episode in a bloody glorious gauntlet battle for your entertainment. I'm joined here by Ellen.
I've got pants full of shame.
And all the way from sunny Melbourne, I'm joined by Paul.
I'm on the edge of my butt.
And we're joined here by Phil.
I need to loosen up. Give me a screwdriver.
Oh,
Oh, look at you doing accents.
good shit.
That was my favourite gag in the
We're
whole
working
thing.
actors, don't you know? Please, someone hire us.
Do I?
please. Oh, God, that's not a good sign.
Hire us for money, please. Yeah, because I just spent the weekend doing AvCon for free.
For free.
For free. Cheap as free.
So, Phil just hosted a convention for nothing.
For absolutely nothing.
For kudos.
Yeah, for bragging rights. Oh, thank God I
Yeah.
found my page again.
Oh, great.
Paul,
All the bragging rights against nerds.
we're not...
Best people to brag against.
You may, dear listener, you may have noticed an absence of a certain Sean. But fear not.
God.
A certain one.
Fear not. He's with us in spirit.
As in, he's literally right next to us
he's
right
lurking.
now.
He's lurking. We may have had small technical difficulties that made us go down a mic.
By spirit, do you mean the nude?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Very naked right now.
Oh, nice. I love it when Sean does that.
He's tickling my ear with his bits right now.
I mean,
With his protrusions.
must you all?
Yeah, we
must.
must. We have to. It has
With his
to
balls,
happen.
Ellen. That's what they meant.
Paul, you're a regular guest, but for someone who just decides this is the episode they're jumping in on, can you tell us a little bit about your show and where you come to us from?
Sure can. You absolute lunatics coming in at episode 100 and whatever.
Yeah, I know, you weirdos.
Yeah, I want to hear
Gosh,
more
well-
about that person, to be honest.
Well, once you've swallowed your outrageous shame, you monsters, I'm from One Good Thing, and we look at pretty much all the really, really bad movies out there because we believe that no film is truly worthless. And there's always a couple of good shining gems in there. And we just prove that again and again every week.
Sometimes you talk about things that you do like.
Oh yeah, sometimes we do that. It's mostly the really bad stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's
occasionally
right.
we get to actually
Do you get less
talk about things
listeners
from our heart.
on the positive side?
Yeah.
Well, we tend to find that the people who get in touch and go, "Oh, that was the best episode ever," it's usually the ones where one of us is outrageously angry.
Yeah, that would make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
It's standard. It's the kind of better when he was an alcoholic type reasoning.
We wanted to hear them talk about things they hated,
Yeah, that's
not positivity.
It's about 50% of
Gross.
my podcast listening, I would say.
Yeah.
You
About
are
50% of people experiencing life nowadays, I think. No nuance. Not ever.
You're joining us for Season 7, Episode 1, The Bots and the Bees.
Oh, I wonder what that could be in
please-
regards to.
Someone enlighten us.
Philip K. Dick novel, I think.
The birds
should
and the
be.
bees.
And
When you-
what's the birds and bees about? What's that?
Well, it's meant to be a phrase regarding when you teach someone about sexual education, but what the fuck does that mean? Birds and bees don't
They
reproduce in the
they
same
do.
way.
When
They don't procreate.
yeah,
Yeah.
when a
you know.
queen bee loves her many drones,
And many birds.
That's what my-
she lays eggs
what my-
in a hive they've built for her.
That's what my polyamorous mother said to me.
That's right.
I don't.
Then they nest it in honey.
So, Mummy, I
Sounds
don't
amazing.
understand.
And birds have some fucked up dynamics. All right, so when you get to about 5, we're going to kick you out of the house. There you go.
You
And
find someone you like,
and
just
you fall flat on your face. You were meant to die, son.
Then we'll expose you to lizards and owls and see how you go from there.
and if you do finally find someone you like, just make sure you rub your cloacas together.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Now come on, so I can vomit into your mouth. Come on, little ones.
Nature is fucked up.
Open wide.
The director for this episode was a friend of the show, Stephen Sandoval.
Oh, look at you.
You just
Please,
hate us right
please
now.
don't look at me. Writer Eric Horsted. The air date was June 20th, 2012.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's
we're
my
catching
brother's
up.
birthday.
Oh, you're on birthday watch now, are you?
Only if it's relating to me or people who are in my family.
And introducing who?
Bev
Yes.
and Ben. Oh,
Bev and Ben, yes.
It's all very alliterative.
Now, who's playing Bev?
Goodman,
it
do you want
Wanda
to do
Sykes?
one? Yeah.
It is indeed Wanda Sykes, yeah. Who I definitely didn't have to look up before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
All big fans of Wanda Sykes over here.
I am. I quite like her.
What's
So do we.
Name a funny joke that she's said.
Don't do this to me, Phil.
Gatekeeping.
Don't do this to me.
Who does play
Live.
Ben? I don't know. It's not in Sean's notes. I don't know who plays Ben. Who
Doesn't
plays
matter.
the son?
They fucking didn't do anything.
Sh-
they didn't
Sean's-
fly from the
Is Sean
nest.
still naked? He sometimes hides hints on his naked body.
Yeah.
Under the
Yeah,
arms.
Just-
you get it. He's got to bend
Just
over.
trying to find out where the post-it is right now.
That's kind of a
Wish I
fun,
could record
sexy
in Adelaide.
game.
This is such a fun game.
It's kind of fun to play with, like a sexual partner. If you wanted to like write things on your body, and then
Yeah.
see if they can make a sentence.
You could put "do me" on a post-it note and put it on the underside of your foot. And
That's how Hemingway wrote.
Philomar playing
Philomar?
Ben. Philomar.
Le Maire. It's very French.
Yes, so that's very interesting, isn't it? No.
Is it?
I love that. I fucking love that. Actually,
I have to let people in. So obviously Sean's sitting out, but he's given me his notebook so I could do all this blurb at the beginning. And I have his notes, all 5 of them.
Fantastic.
And I'm just going to read them out one by one because they just make no sense and it's great.
Can I just say, Phil,
meme.
a poor tradesman.
The first note is meme, which I believe is the opening where
Yes.
it says, not sure if
It's a
new
new
episode or episode
rerun.
watch while drunk. There's no need for that. That's still written in a different colour pen. So it's obviously important.
so, it's a different thought.
There's also
Any of this. No need
F
for
entrance.
anything.
Is that what that says? F entrance? Farnsworth entrance? Fry entrance?
Entrance.
Oh, a Farnsworth entrance where he comes in on the rotating chair, I believe.
Oh, are these your notes for the episode? Jesus fucking Christ.
I can't
I've
read
got
that.
2
It
pages.
says milk something.
Milk button.
Milk button.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Milk
where
button.
it squeezes out from between other buttons. And
wish you-
Fry's leg.
Wish you wouldn't. Gets snapped the opposite direction
Yes.
at a 90-degree angle.
My favourite thing about that is the way his eyes flutter in pain afterwards. it's a really
yes.
nice little
It's-
detail.
It's very
But I
Bella. It's very Bella
I feel like the
Swan in
adrenaline-
Twilight.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Oh,
This is just recalling the fantastic cross-eyed acting in Twilight. No, that's a great fucking film.
he looks like very quickly the adrenaline sweeps over his body, his pain broken body, and
Yeah.
he can just rest, just briefly.
It's all the hey, maybe his body's like a glow stick, and when you crack it, it just
Gets
glows
brighter.
brighter.
This will be my single contribution to the episode, and then I'll keep being naked.
That's Sean, everyone.
Hello, guys. Phil, not Phil. Fuck, I'm taking your mic. You can't talk. Paul, why did you choose this episode? Because often you just, whenever I ask you this, you're like, oh, I don't know. I chose it because I chose it. But
Yeah, Goodman.
Well,
Explain yourself.
Usually I just let Salt choose them, and then I assume
show
that he
up.
has some good reason for it. But no, I had a good reason for this one. I liked it.
That's a fine reason. That's good.
Pretty good, yeah.
And why did you like it?
Oh, did you want to get into the plot first, or
Ooh.
Yeah, who wants to run down the plot? You do it, actually.
yeah,
No,
Goodman, you do
you
it.
do it.
fuck, all right?
Put some effort in. Come on.
There was a sort of no man's land there where I didn't know who you were looking at while you said you. So I just like looked at my washing that's drying next to my desk and went, "Oh fuck, I hope
was
it's not me. I
clearly
haven't
them.
thought about this at all."
I actually did like a chin nod at the screen.
Yeah, it was very commanding.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I felt that a little bit. I think it was deflected by Sean's
Nakedness.
definitely naked balls.
It's very present. His nakedness is very present in the room, if you know what I mean.
I feel it. And I'm sure you do too, listeners at home. And while you're
PG.
thinking about that,
Don't listen with your
Oh.
kids.
To pray see the episode, a new vending machine is introduced to the Planet Express team. Bender and her, Bev, have sex. They have a kid. Bender tries to abandon the baby, but Bev abandons him better. And Bender learns to be a good dad for a bit. It turns out the kid can't bend, and then they have to swap out his memory in order for him to bend and go to bending school. Bend. That's
Say
it.
bend one more time.
And the B plot?
Bend. Oh, the B plot. Fry's addicted to slurm again.
Yeah.
So much
Great.
so that he glows. And then
Yes.
he does a Rudolph thing at the end.
I mean, the thing about quitting is that, it's very easy to relapse.
Yeah,
and,
you're always an addict, right?
Yes.
Well, you're one drink away, basically, from being an addict. You're always an addict, in fact.
I mean, I would say you're 5 drinks away. Maybe that
you would.
speaks to my personality.
Says the man who's
Nope.
who's
Seems
downed
fine.
his large beer before beginning.
Yeah, Goodman.
I've been nursing that
Shame.
beer for an hour, sirs and madam.
Okay, so what did
Do
we
this to me, not on air.
Oh, yeah. Why did you pick this, Goodman? So what did you like about it that made you want made us want
look.
to do this?
What made me want to make you watch this and talk about it? Do you know, it felt like a classic Futurama episode with the rate of jokes, the character consistent jokes. It filled me with a lot of those good old classic Futurama feels, and as well as having the laughs, I felt a bit at the end, and
Yeah, I think definitely when Fry gets his moment, that's really touching, isn't it?
Oh, he comes back to be
absolutely. I
Rudolph
love
the
it.
red-nosed
he
reindeer.
takes off his tiny whities.
Who could guide this sleigh tonight?
I mean, turn the contrast down. I just, obviously want a bit more naked Fry.
Yeah, why did he have to be naked? I don't think the tiny
Get-
whiteys were holding that much back.
Oh, you got to get maximum illumination.
White reflects, right? So that's reflecting 10% white brightness back into his pelvis.
Ah, yeah.
Maybe. He might have a mole on his penis. You never know.
We should probably get that checked out.
It's
Bright
been
or
burnt
not?
off. It's been burnt off now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
he's
probably right
he's
then.
like acidic. He's that
Yeah,
toxic.
he kind of sizzles. Yeah,
He's able to kind of sweat through materials.
he walks through a metal door
He does walk through a metal
There's
door.
a lot
yeah.
of smashing through things that really
and into
pleases
things.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so the things that you can do with an indestructible baby, once you know a baby is made of metal and cannot therefore be hurt, smashing it through windows becomes so much fun. It's just so humorous to see Bender just like full on just like hurl his child into
Into a bank.
windows and then rob a bank. Using his child as a brick. That is fantastic. And the animation in this episode is actually quite wonderful. There's a bit where Bender is on the run because he's kidnapped, in quotation marks, his son Ben, and Earl and who's the other cop? I can never remember. Smitty. That's right. Smitty and Earl, they're helicoptering him down and he goes to bend the propellers and his arms shoot out at the camera. And it's kind of like front-on perspective, and you just have his hands move very closely towards the camera. And it's really impressive. It's very anime.
there's a bit as well when he first takes his kid home, and it's just it's quite a simple shot. It's just a close up of his eyes, and he's got like circuitry bloodshot.
Oh, yes, I was
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
that's
mention
great.
that. That's fantastic.
It's a great touch, isn't it? It doesn't have to be super flashy, just quite creative. And then you're like, that's satisfying. That's
there
nice.
are a lot of really creative things they have the schematics in the sex ed video about how a binary code is transmitted into the female's hard drive, which the zeros and ones become little sperms and they go into the egg of the hard drive. And then they show how the robot is built kind of with 50-50 characteristics from each of the robots. It's very detailed. It's very visually interesting the way that they've done it. And it's also kind of a bit shit in that vein of sex ed videos.
Okay, we have to discuss robot reproduction.
Oh, must we?
Let's watch.
We have to.
Such a good line.
You brought it up, so we have to discuss robot reproduction.
Yeah.
I love the fact that because they cannot manufacture robots quickly enough, they've fitted them with the ability to reproduce. It's such a fucking fabulously stupid
I think it's a
Futurama
lie.
premise.
I think
and
the
love it.
robots just wanted to fuck.
So they altered themselves.
Yeah, because when they show the video of like, as you know, we cannot manufacture robots quickly enough, instead of like, it's not that the robots aren't manufacturing, they just go immediately to smashing each other.
They do. Those
Yeah.
two assembly line robots.
So I think it's more
are
just
keen as.
instead of them being like, oh, we can't make them fast enough, it's like, nah, robots want to fuck.
They wanna fuck, so we let 'em.
Let's give them
Who
consequences.
doesn't? Am I right? Fellas?
I want to have sex with a robot.
Yeah, anyone who's not asexual would probably agree with you.
Generally what I aim
Amoebas?
for.
No one here. Then.
Amoebas?
Broad consensus is my kind of jam.
Right, yeah.
No,
It's also
I-
useless though, right? Because you create robots,
robots.
which don't really have the specifications of either, and so aren't for a specific use.
I think robots have always been quite shit in Futurama.
Yeah.
Like they're just people essentially. They don't do what they're meant to do.
So the robot floozies, like the ones he picks up, like what is their function?
Floozy.
They were built as floozies. That's what you were saying.
That's it. They're just manufactured for the purpose of
Some
floozing.
some become floozies, some have flooziness thrust upon them.
Some had real futures
Oh.
that became floostures. Oh god.
And are there
So-
are there fishnets attached to them, or do they put those on?
Yeah. I was going to say corrugated iron, but I think I've just been in Australia too long.
Everything's made of corrugated iron.
Fucking hell. Can't move for it, mate.
My car's
But-
made of corrugated iron.
I do love the idea that maybe, 990 years before Futurama was set, where, we're just getting to grips with AI and everything is very precise and very perfect, and we're making these very sort of delicate robots with very specific purposes. After a while, when it becomes easy enough to just manufacture them willy-nilly, that about the same level of care and attention goes into that as any other human endeavor, and it's just mass-produced garbage.
Just like,
Like, what's
making
this one? Oh,
humans.
it's a toaster, I think. I don't know.
And then it had sex with a coffee machine, so it's a coffee toaster.
It's nice to know that robots have the same kind of lack of care that humans have when making smaller new humans.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it happened. Also, like, yeah, Bender doesn't. Okay, so I have a bit of a qualm with this episode. I don't know if it's too early to get into it, but as much as I really like Wanda Sykes, and I think Bev's a cool character, I'm not quite comfortable with this kind of shitty, negligent mother being portrayed by a very famous African American
You think
woman.
it plays into black stereotypes?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I think it's more that they're going for like low class stereotypes, but I think it just errs kind of too close for me. In the whole tone of the episode, I'm very much sure that's not what they're intending, but it rubs me the wrong way a little bit. And also because it's like, it's Bender's fault. Like, he didn't use protection.
both
And
of
then
their
he's
fault.
like, well, yes.
Equally.
But it's also like, without Bender, Bev wouldn't have got pregnant. Well, from Bender anyway. She gets pregnant with Earl later on. But it's kind of like, why are none of these robots using protection? Also, why do none of them know that they can make other new robots?
It's because sex education is as bad as it is now.
And Bender's had loads of sex before with other floosbots.
Yeah, he also has a firstborn son that he
yeah.
sacrifices to the devil in a previous episode.
that's
She
right.
conveniently forgets about in this one.
Yeah, look, a lot of forgetting happens, not just from Bender, from also us, from
Yes.
everyone involved. I forgot to also mention the opening.
Yeah, I wanted to discuss that too.
Yeah, it was fucking gorgeous and fun as shit. So they have like a superhero call to arms with the Planet Express symbol being shone into the air, and then Amy, does she have a motorbike? What does she do? She jets off on something.
She steals Randy's car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I wrote Randy, and then I couldn't remember where Randy was.
And then she hits him with it.
Yes, she says, yeah, as long as you stay away, you're not going to get hurt. And then she runs him over
Just runs him
immediately.
over.
Yeah, it's very good. Scruffy's riding a llama / alpaca
Yeah,
to work.
back to Paraguay. Paraguay, that's right. Hermes, I love. Have we seen much of Hermes' apartment before? it's really cool. It's very Jetsons slash a little bit of what a hamster house looks like.
And also, can I just, did I miss, there's a few episodes now in season 6 that I've missed, and was it ever established that there was a 3-way thing going on between Hermes, La Barbara, and
Barbados Slim.
Barbados Slim? Because
It's he pops up a lot, but it's never quite clarified what exactly the relationship is.
okay,
Whenever
it's just free and easy.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
that's cool.
Whenever Hermes is out of the picture, Barbados Slim is
Immediately
he's
there.
like a picture. Yeah.
Oh my god,
He is the
just
picture,
he
yeah.
just lives under the staircase,
He's
ready.
like, he's the backup husband, I think. Yeah, one of my favorite things about the opening is we find out where Fry and Leela and I think Bender are, and they're trapped in a web being attacked by a
Yes.
giant spider. Great animation, really cool situation,
Yeah.
and just totally incidental to the plot.
Yep.
Because you think that, maybe he's calling them to go and rescue them, but they're like, no, we don't have time to be eaten by a spider. The professor needs us.
Yeah, and also this is actually very similar to a Brooklyn Nine-Nine cold open, now that I think about it. The opening here, the joke is that it's all this kind of pomp and celebration for a new vending machine. It's the same as Brooklyn Nine-Nine when they have a new vending machine and they dub it Snacky Chan, and then they christen it by smashing it with a champagne bottle, and it immediately then malfunctions and sets fire to the vending machine.
Right.
I really enjoy the animation on Farnsworth's chair as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not just sitting with his back to them, he's sitting upside down with his back to them.
He's
And
he'd be lying back, wouldn't he?
yeah,
the little jet
there's
thing
just
to
something
be
wonderful
facing
about
us.
that.
I can't wait till I'm old and I can just
That whole
constantly.
That whole freeze frame thing is quite good because he's still got Hermes. Hermes is still like dangling from his parachute in the background. Scruffy is a notary, by the way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
genuine.
He can handle legal documents, which is he's a man of surprises.
I've written something and it's a bit of a diss against Goodman, to be honest.
Oh no!
Brilliant. Let's hear it.
Well,
Then.
okay. It was also, dear listeners, if you have not heard the One Good Thing review on, is it movie 42 or 43? I get confused.
43, 42's next year.
They do it
They're
retroactively.
counting down.
So 43.
43 long years of OGT we've got planned.
Wow, you guys wear it great. Some of Baby Ben's gurgles sounds exactly like Hugh Goodman when you're pretending to be a child.
I choose to take that as a straight up stone cold compliment.
Yeah.
John DiMaggio is referencing you. Did you know?
John DiMaggio is almost as good as I am at voice work.
Almost.
He's been trying though, you know. He tries really hard.
Yeah,
And he's
you
done
know.
so many voices now. He's done Bender. He did Waka from Final Fantasy X.
Oh, that's
great.
That's a good
Wow.
reference.
Yeah, he was.
Everyone hates Waka though. He's a terrible character.
He's got a ball and he throws it.
That's it. It's like the universe.
look at him go.
The
He's-
fate of the world is at stake.
he's-
Hey, wanna play some sphere ball,
He's
whatever it's
very
called?
much
I can't
a
remember.
prop
Visible.
actor.
Blitzball.
A prop voice
Blitzball.
actor. John, can
I mean,
you put
he's the
down that ball?
King in Disenchantment. Ah,
Yeah.
get about it.
Wonderful.
He's only like about 10 years or so behind me, I think, in terms of accolades and legacy.
These are views only held by Paul Goodman. We
do not
are
reflect-
Baby Beard Media. Do not affiliate with this man. We very much want
They-
John DiMaggio on the show.
We joke before this. We were like, this guy, this John, who is he? Hey,
Who does he think he is?
I love you, John. If I met him in real life, I'd be so embarrassed. Is the thing.
And he's
Not
on
even-
the podcast.
Not even before this, even before I just said what I said, like if I just met him in real life, or I wouldn't be able to talk. I'd just be so
You just have
weighed
to-
down by the fact that I'm an inferior human. But I am
just
also
have to
better than him.
I think that would just short circuit you, and it would be curtains for you.
You just have to suck the words back into your mouth.
Quitins, like soup, like so much spilt soup.
Oh my god.
I want to talk a little bit about the characterization of Bender, and not just in this episode, but
Daddy Bender.
overall, right?
Aw.
So this is one of those episodes where Bender has a heart and he's nice, as opposed to, say, the Remember Me episode where he is an unconscionable asshole.
There's a bit of a flashback to that as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Remember your pap. Just remember your father.
to me, this is the true Bender. Still an asshole, still a thief, but really deep down, he's got good qualities.
Well, he desperately wants some kind of affection, right? Because that's where they are able to do it in really skillful ways with his relationship with Fry, because sometimes he is that much of an asshole because of his possessiveness, because he feels inferior somehow, or he just desperately wants attention, but we relate to that, and it's somehow about the love he feels for Fry that kind of shitheadness comes out, whereas in the A Pharaoh to Remember, he's just being a jerk for no real reason.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to leave a legacy, but it's when they kind of approach it with how does Bender feel about something that you can really kind of just let the ball roll, and any kind of shitty stuff he does is generally justified by how well the character growth works in the episode. So we have a reoccurrence of Daddy Bender, and in some way A Pharaoh to Remember Bender.
Well, he's not a sociopath, right? He's a bit of a lunatic and an insecure maniac, maybe. So I
mean, he might be
I love the episodes where they just break through that wall, and they find the things that Bender really cares about outside of himself, and it's really sweet because he's just, this is forced upon him in the episode, and it's just so nice to watch him make that connection. And only Mini Bender is very, very cute
Because he sounds like you, Goodman.
Well, I would say that, I suppose, because I fucking love me.
I think it all comes together in that moment where they're running away from.
Just kiss the microphone and
being shoved in my
forcibly
face.
bent it into our faces.
Where they're running away from the hovercopter, and they're like, run, hug, run, hug. It's just, it's gorgeous. And you're like, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Goodman, in that it's when he finds a thing outside of himself. So it's like when the Godfellas episode, where he is the deity to a small civilization that lives on his tummy, because he cares about them.
He really did try.
Yeah, he did. He tried really hard.
And he could have just easily have not, and that
it was going so well until everyone died.
Exactly.
He was. He might actually be a psychopath now that I think about it. Except they don't say psychopath anymore. It's like antisocial.
He has too much emotion and too much connection to certain people beyond just toying with them.
Psychopaths can.
I think. Nah, it's more of a, I don't know, I've read a lot of testimonies from diagnosed sociopaths, and sociopath, psychopath is interchangeable. And
Preparing for your Malkavian role.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I never got that far. So.
Yeah. Well, it's like you still are able to have emotional connections with people, but you just, at the end of the day, it all relates back to you and, like, what are you getting out of this? It's, why.
It's very surface level in that case. It's very mercantile.
Well, I tried. I tried to psychoanalyze the robot, I guess. Silly me.
No, if you weren't doing it, then who would? And it would just be me talking about sociopaths. Without even talking about robots.
This is a Sandoval Horsted episode, right?
So I remember listening to the interview. Was it with Stephen Sandoval?
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about the end of this episode, right? And just the perfect joke of sawing like little Bender's head off. Of by the way, Ben vending Rodriguez, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Just the details in this episode are just choice. But he talks about building up the emotional, the weight of this moment, and the teary goodbye between Bender and Ben, and then just cut through with the saw,
a chainsaw
straight through Mini Bender's head.
Yeah,
it's Oh, just perfect.
There's quite a lot of that sort of like bathos use in this episode for
Yeah.
comedy, which is really nice. I think there's one where the other example I can think of is when they're telling Bender that his son can never bend. And he opens up his head and he's like, oh, there's only one expansion slot, and it's got his memory card in it. This robot will never bend. And he goes, you don't know what's in his heart? And he goes, yep, there's no slot in there too.
Yeah.
He's really builds it up, cuts it down. It's a really nice comedy device.
This is the same bit as, I hate to crush a boy's dreams, but what the heck?
Yeah, they really go for it in this episode. There's a lot of really cool. I looked up I looked up vending machine deaths. So, did you guys know that there is 2.18 vending machine deaths per year? I don't know what 0.18 of a death means, but it's just when Bender and Bev are fighting, and he goes, "Oh, what are you going to hit me with like no hands?" And she just falls straight on top of him. Like that's a kind of another example of that. Just there's a lot of really good slapstick comedy.
There's
in this.
some good slapstick
like
stuff,
babies through the window. Hermes also walking straight through the glass in his little apartment.
Yeah.
Like there's just people going straight through things. Fry gets bent like a fucking.
Oh, yeah, that is painful.
Yeah, like he's made out of, well, no, it's definitely very painful for him, but yeah, he gets bent 90 degrees. There's just a lot of really sudden, like, things happening.
The animation of a vending machine smashing into a wall is one of my favorite things in this episode, particularly when she turns the light off.
Yeah.
By just smashing herself into the wall.
It also, Baby Let's Smash. I mean, they took that to.
I feel like that parlance is like more modern than the show. Like it's a happy coincidence
that it came from the show. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, maybe they started the phrase smashing.
Let's say it
now. Can you tell me what doesn't work about this episode?
I think the Fry thing, it's been done. The Fry being addicted to Slurm. They've also had Bender falling in love with another part of Planet Express before, but this is different enough to feel like a completely original story. But Fry being addicted, even though it makes him glow and he comes in at the end, it doesn't. There wasn't much about that did it for me, despite all the fun and the laughs that I was having all throughout.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like it serves much of a purpose other than like a gag at the end.
For the joke. I mean, I'm not averse to having something exist just for a joke, but there is quite a lot of attention paid to it. I think it would almost be better to have so much attention paid to it throughout the episode like there is, and then for it to just not pay off. That would be quite funny to me if that just went nowhere. And there are a few Futurama jokes that go like that, where it's like, I guess it just went away, or like, did something, or we never heard from him again. But
it doesn't have to link.
Yeah,
right.
There is quite it's because he's literally glowing, but it really makes him stand out more in this episode. And you're kind of just thinking, when's that going to pay off? When's that going to come back around?
I hope they don't use it for a single really lame joke at the end.
I like the joke. I did like it,
Which one are we talking about?
Sorry? We're talking about Fry as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, okay, because I really love the line when he comes back into the spaceship where the setup is something like, oh, we're never going to get through that storm now. And he comes in and goes, or is there? Just total non sequitur.
Yeah,
that is good Fry.
It works really great with Fry as well, because it's just like you need to exploit his dumb personality.
Yeah.
Where he's just a slacker who is really single-minded about certain things. It's back to I'm going to drink 100 cups of coffee. I'm going to drink a Slurm, and then I'm going to drink another Slurm, and then I'm just going to keep drinking Slurm.
I need another Slurm to wash the Slurm taste out of my mouth.
Yeah. I did feel kind of sick when he goes to drink the cup with Mini Bender in it. It's like, oh no, I know you're going to do it. You're telegraphing this. It's 100-mile telegraph, but oh boy, that's disgusting.
Do you know what I initially thought it was? So when she dispenses the Slurm and then there's the little chunk, I thought it.
Good Foley work.
I thought she had a UTI. or a yeast infection.
Like a nanobot UTI or something.
Oh yeah, that's a different episode.
Yeah, because it was hard to come out, and I was like, oh, bitch, get some cranberry
Babies,
juice.
on the other hand,
Discharging
very easy to come out.
into his
Oh
drink.
yeah,
Seamless.
absolutely. We are talking about
We'll
robot babies,
have one. No biggie.
especially you.
Especially me.
Personally, I'm a little. I don't think the status quo thing seems like getting us back to status quo feels a bit contrived. You have to remove his memories to give him bending powers, and therefore he won't know his family. That's for me, it's not quite there. But let's wrap up with favorite moments and gags.
I would just say very quickly that a nice ending could also have been Ben Vending Rodriguez finding something else.
That's what I thought it might happen actually early in the
Being
episode.
I always wanted to be an athlete, but then it turns out that I'm 5'9", so it's okay. I did something else, rather than be like, so I took out my brain and used the energy to power my legs.
That's what I did.
I don't like books anymore, but oh well. Look at
And
me
I
run.
never looked back.
Yeah, how inspiring.
I have a quick fashion corner.
Oh, go.
There's not that much fashion in this episode, although when Ben has his little bot mitzvah, Leela is in a very nice kind of navy, little strappy dress, and she's wearing pearls, and I don't often see Leela with pearls, and it's quite elegant on her. And also I really love the floozy bots. Generally these floozy bots always have like a Betty Page 50s hairdo with kind of like roll curled ends and bangs over the top and like a kind of middle part, which is really cute. And then the other floozy bot had almost like a 1920s kind of like very short do with a kind of curled fringe, and I just really like that design. So that's Fashion Corner with
Wink.
Ellen.
Wink.
Wink.
Perfect.
Wink.
Yeah, that could not have
Got
gone
it.
better.
Whew, nailed it. Nailed it.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Keep going. We're still doing favorite things.
I like, you can't be drunk here. This ain't a sawmill. So you can't be drunk at work. This ain't a sawmill.
That's right. Yeah.
I really, really like, hey, who's your hot dumb friend? And then both of the floozies going, me? It's just classic misogynist Bender. Love it.
On that note as well, if we were under any doubt that Bender's antenna is a penis surrogate, they make it very fucking clear in this episode.
Oh yeah. She,
My antenna's okay.
trash talks his antenna, and then he feels
Very insecure
like a
about it.
baby for a very long time.
It is literally the most important thing, though. So,
Is that what you're telling to all of our listeners right now? Our young, impressionable listeners?
especially the kids. It's all about the antenna.
I love how blasé Fry is with his own fucking health. When he's just like, yeah, my urine's turned green. Anyway, back to drinking Slurm. It's just like, what the fuck? What would it take? I bet he didn't even see the doctor after like Bender bent him like 5 ways from Sunday. Like, what the fuck? He just has no regard for his own personal health. He just wants to drink Slurm.
Yeah. It's highly
Probably
addictive.
saw Zoidberg, though, and he told him that it was perfectly normal for a woman of his age.
That's true. Yeah. Like when they first start doing the nasty in the pasty, there's a brief moment where Bev pulls out and he goes, "Interesting."
Yeah.
That's what we call edging. Ask your parents.
Or don't. They might get really
me.
embarrassed. And no one's going to bring up, it's a damn.
Damn.
It's
That's
great.
Great. It's really good. It's such a stupid joke. And I love it.
Awful. I love it so much.
I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but I need to loosen up. Give me a screwdriver.
Yeah, that is
Such a good fucking gag. Oh, I love it. I love lame jokes.
There are just so many throwaway lines in this that are perfect. Like, call me old fashioned, but I like a little romance in an orgy. And
Yes.
I've been waiting all day for an excuse to hit a lady. It's just, just completely throwaway and outrageous.
My mum was a religious fundamentalist. She also didn't have a mouth. Those things don't often go together.
Wipe my tiny metal ass.
yes. The VCR player that they used to play the sex ed tape on is lovely, just in the virtue that it is one of those like pop top old VCRs. I love it when they use old tech in Futurama. Just gives me the warm and fuzzies.
Because sex ed videos have not changed ever.
No.
They made them and then they kept them all. They're not going back to remake them since.
And remember,
One and done.
everything you do with your body is completely natural. Except masturbation.
Oh.
Oh.
My favourite visual gag in the episode is when he finally puts Mini Bender to sleep. And then he sits back in his chair and just resumes sawing the rope that's holding an anvil over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
It's just
That's
such
parenthood.
a cut and dry movement. It's perfect.
that. So, yes.
Back to death.
It's time to bring the episode to a vote. So it is the Bots and the Bees versus the Bots and the Bees. Goodman.
It's tight.
No, I haven't seen the Bots and the Bees. So
You've only seen the bots and the bees.
I've only seen the Bots and the Bees, yeah. So I'm gonna say Bots and the Bees instead of Bots and the Bees. Because I haven't seen it and I thought it's probably fair just to do it for fairness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fair.
I've got. I was going to say I got done a lot in fairness in high school. It's the only way I was active.
Charity of strangers.
I'm going
Sorry that I'm on your podcast.
I'm going to both agree and disagree with Paul and go for the Bots and the Bees.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well.
All right, I think we've done this joke to death.
No, this is
No,
very
see if Ellen can do it.
this is a very acted joke. I kind of fucking love it. The bots and the bees.
Right, sorted.
Oh.
We have our season 7
Three-way
front runner at the
split.
moment is the Bots and the Bees.
Perfect.
How's that for yes and?
Nailed it.
Yes, and your stupid idea.
So
See, I'm doing improv.
while Sean writes down the name of the following episode for me, let's do a voice.
Should we do Ben?
Which age of Ben? Your dealer's choice.
Yeah. I can only do baby voice, so I don't remember anything he said.
I'll steal the one that we were just reminded of. But my son, tiny metal ass.
Oh, how precious.
Aw.
I'm just going to be a baby and giggle.
Bend again.
Oh my God, John DiMaggio is right here.
Yeah, that's right. Here I am, everyone. Oh, forget about it.
Wow. So when John DiMaggio puts on a voice, it's just another voice.
Self-righteous
Whereas
English
this is what you
middle class.
really sound
Yeah.
like.
Don't think
This is me, John DiMaggio, everyone. Hi, stay in school.
Did Paul do an impression while I wasn't listening? Because Sean
I was
was
Yeah,
laughing
he
along
just
with the rest of you.
he just
Come on,
went.
Paul.
What other lines does he have? I don't know.
What's
That's the only one of his that I wrote down.
What's
I
the
never-
terrible joke he makes in the?
My dad wasn't around, or he's like, I never knew my father.
What's the terrible joke he makes at his bar mitzvah?
Oh,
He tells a
was it
terrible gag.
Twice was enough.
Yeah,
I want to thank the. I can't even remember the name. I want to thank the Reverend Bart for not circumcising me again. Twice was enough.
Yeah, nailed it.
There we go.
perfect.
Lovely.
Sorry
roughly
about
perfect.
your penis.
So that is it. That is our little look at the Bots and the Bees. If you would like to get in contact with Baby Beard Media, you can email us at babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
We're also on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you check up the Instagram, great. That's perfect.
Check it out.
Perfect.
So if you look at
Come
the
on, kids.
Instagram, you'll be able to see a live stream of this very episode. We're waving at you right now.
This one
Wave
coming
back.
from my lounge room.
Yeah, exactly. So see the new
Featuring
sites.
A very naked Sean.
A very, very naked Sean. And who doesn't want to see that? So make sure that you subscribe. We're also on YouTube, where we will be posting Let's Plays.
Yeah, more content coming to our YouTube soon, so
Yeah.
look out for that.
So just subscribe to everything, and then you can see all the different avenues that we're exploring.
Yeah, do that. What about you, Mr. Goodman? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, we are about on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at OGT Pod. If you want to send us an email, you can do that at Gmail, ogtpod@gmail.com. With all of our bad movies, I believe this week it's Baywatch featuring The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson The Rock, and Zac Efron The Rock. And yeah, we put the call out for good things on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well. You probably missed it because this episode's coming out after this.
Get on the next one.
For future films, getting on the next one. There's an endless stream of crap in this world, so we'll get to something good next week.
You'll be
right.
Yeah, you'll be doing it until you die.
At least 43 years.
Wonderful.
Thanks to the Farrelly brothers.
So yeah, if you would like to keep listening to us, come back next week, and we'll be looking at the music of Futurama, which is not an episode of Futurama, but we're doing a side mission.
We'll be doing a little side mission
where we listen and look at all of the songs, the many songs.
Mainly listen.
And
We won't be looking at the music.
Yeah.
Sean will, whilst naked.
Yeah, he loves looking at music.
Depends if you have synesthesia.
Oh, fuck. Oh, wow. What if anyone who does have synesthesia? Oh, my God, please, you say it. I'm throwing
Stop
the ball over.
Synesthesia.
I couldn't even pronounce
If
that.
anyone has that, and what do you get when you listen to this podcast? Is it just shit?
It's crunchy.
What's the sensation? Please let us know.
What's the sensation of Shut Up and Take My Podcast?
Is it just someone
Stiletto crunching
like
on brown autumn leaves.
Find that out.
a wet hand that's somewhat slapping you?
Oh, no.
Somewhat.
Yeah,
Still,
they're not having a real go.
Half-heartedly slapping you. Yeah.
which is more insulting, if anything.
So if you want...
Put your back into it, mate.
I'm trying to wrap this up.
Slap from your knees.
Take a run up. So if you want more insanity and inanity, come back next week. Until then, I've been Phil.
I've been Ellen.
I've been Paul.
Bye.
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 I forgot to think of a clever thing.
Okay, it's recording. Okay, so from 6, joining at 4. I've killed Ellen in the first 2 seconds.
I like that every time we get one good thing on, we always take so long that it gets to a point where Paul's slightly pissed off, and it's great for comedy.
Yay.
Aw.
That's
I'm
why.
not pissed off. I'm tired. I bought an extra big beer. I thought, I could sip this throughout the recording, and it's gone.
Oh no!
Well, maybe you need to drink slower.
Or
No.
get a second beer.
Well, it's quite a big beer. I thought it would be enough, even for me. Paul.
Oh, we're all in on. Fuck.
Until that time,
I can't speak right now. It's been a very long day.
holding up my certificate of abandonment, I'm Phil.
I have a UTI. I'm Ellen. I don't.
Underselling it like a real professor, I'm Paul.
Great. What's the part of your brain that remembers quotes? I'd like to know.
The mushy part, apparently.
The gooch.
What
the
if
gooch
you-
of the brain.
Please don't say that. What if we opened up my brain and we took it out and we put all Futurama quotes back in, but then I wouldn't remember any of you guys?
There's no connecting tissue. You'd just be a joke. My dinner's here, so I'm going to go and eat that, I think.
Okay.
Oh, that's a pretty good plan.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
I've-
Yes, and
32 years to get to that point.
Sorry, Sean and his ballsack couldn't join us.
We all
only
felt
one.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
It was-
A ball sack implies 2, doesn't it? I don't know anything about male genitals. I'm sorry. I was
Don't
a
need
late
to.
bloomer.
Touch it and it works. That's about
Bloomers.
the extent of it.